Okay, guys, welcome to today's Local Yokels Podcast. I'm Neil Colley, your host, and I want to tell all of you happy holidays because we're just coming off Thanksgiving holiday. One of the guys that I work with most is RoofWorks Roofing Company right now. By the way, they're primary sponsor for the show. They're offering a $500 rebate if they are allowed to do your roof, if they're so privileged to do so, and also a $50 discount on any repairs. So you can use that $500 rebate. Have it given to yourself, or you can give it to your favorite charity, which I encourage that. So, but you got to say Yokels, Yokels, so they know where you came from. That's nice, right?
It is.
Yeah, for the holidays.
That is so nice.
All right, my guest today, and I've been very excited about talking with you, and because I know what you mean to the community, and you have a pretty good following through your Christian ministry. That you do, Miss Pam Pegram.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Welcome, Miss Pam. How was your Thanksgiving holiday?
It was very good.
Today's Saturday, by the way,
yes.
Right after Thanksgiving, so people know kind of what the timeline is. So
yes.
You were telling me before the show, you fed 30 people.
I did.
Holy
we had
cow.
a house full.
That's amazing.
Heart full, house
Family.
full, my belly's full.
Man.
Yeah, all the things.
Wow, 30 folks.
Yes.
And they're all immediate family pretty much.
Yes. And, well, a little bit of like my brothers.
Friends, stuff like that, cousins, aunts, uncles, all that good stuff. But family nonetheless.
Yes.
So, yeah,
it's
that's
all
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you had every possible thing that you could think of.
I mean, way too much. We're still eating it.
Oh, yeah, you'll have that for a week at
Left
least.
over for days.
You better be checking Google to see how long stuff's good for.
I know,
yeah,
right?
I always say that,
Yeah.
like, how long can we keep eating this? Because it's got to get bad. It's drying out. Turkey gets dry.
I know,
all
and
that
I'm
stuff.
like, I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over
it.
too. We actually, I'm glad you had a great holiday. Me and my family, there's only like 3 of us around here currently. Mm-hmm. Everybody else has either passed on or moved away in the last couple of years. So I text my friend Jim Lasapio, and back up about a week or two before Thanksgiving, I said, "Are you going to be open at Dale's on Thanksgiving?"
Oh, wow.
He goes, "I sure am." And I said, "Well, man, I'm coming." So we decided to go there, and apparently a couple of thousand other folks decided not to also cook Thanksgiving, and they showed up at Dale's. Huh? It was packed.
Wow.
And they got us through really good, and Dale's did an amazing job service-wise. Food was great. They limited the menu just because it made it super efficient, so it made it easy for people to get in and out.
Yeah.
But what a way to go, though, man. No cleanup. It was very reasonably priced, as always, and it's Dale's.
Yes.
In South
I grew
Haven,
up here, so yeah, that's a staple.
I was really glad
life.
that he went in and got the opportunity to renovate it. It's beautiful, by the way, and they're doing a great job. Some of the original people are still there. Waitresses from like 50 years ago or something like that's working there still.
Yes, that's
it's kind of
amazing.
crazy. But we had a good time, and anybody don't know Dale's, just go check it out in South Haven on State Line. All you got to do is Google it. I mean, it's amazing Southern cooking. So that's all I'm saying. However, moving on from that, let's talk about what Miss Pam does.
Yeah. I'm a leadership and personal growth coach.
Meemaw.
Yeah, I'm a Mimi. Yes.
Mimi. Yeah.
A Mimi of 10.
A Mimi of 10. That's the most important thing I think is good about your credit, I suppose, as far as what you do in your life.
It's my favorite title, for
yes,
sure.
Yes.
We do have 2 in heaven waiting on us. So one of my grandchildren always corrects me and says 12.
12, because you got 2 on the way?
12.
Oh, wow.
No, 2 in heaven.
Oh, 2 in heaven. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I misspoke. I apologize.
Yeah.
So,
no worries.
So that's good that they're aware of that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
For sure.
So, well, let's don't get into those details
very
of what
blessed,
and where.
Though.
But
very blessed to have all of
10
these
of you.
littles.
Man, wow, God, that is a lot of littles. And they're all pretty small, right? Like,
they're from 3 to 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is the best time ever.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
I think about my own grandchildren, and I think about how time's flying by with them. Yeah. And I just think, man, this is not, I mean, used to, and I know you know this when you were younger, how people tell you time flies. Well, you don't realize it till you get a little older and you start seeing your kids just all of a sudden in a blink of an eye, they're grown and they got their own kids and now they're almost grown. It really blows my mind sometimes. So, but you have this amazing family.
I do. I remember being a single mom of 3 teenagers and feeling like, man, my life is just over. I just can't see past this pain and this struggle.
Yeah.
And now my life is so rich.
And full.
Full.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's because of all the family that you've created through time. I mean, you talked about your husband. Mention him.
Yes,
Mention him.
Tom.
Tom. Hello, Tom.
Tom Pegram, yes.
Tom Pegram. He came into your life and everything changed for the better. You know what I mean? So you got this great big family and a good support system all the way around.
Yes.
And you live on a compound, you tell me almost.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
So my 6 of my grandchildren are neighbors, which that's awesome.
That's good.
Tom and I laugh and say it's like our paparazzi. Every time we walk outside, they start screaming and running from every direction.
Well, you're superstars.
Yeah, so fun.
I mean, that's the thing. That's what it's supposed to be about, you know.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to hear that. I would love a situation. We had that for a little while in our world too, but as kids get older and move on, you know, and I think they sometimes come back too, you know, like sometimes it does happen. But, well, that's amazing. We talked about your great family and your wonderful husband, and let's talk about what Miss Pam does in her day-to-day.
So I'm a leadership and personal growth coach.
Yeah.
And how I found my way here is I spent 23 years in network marketing. And so I loved the product that I sold. It was jewelry, by the way. And so I loved that. But what I fell in love with were the people.
Right.
And helping them build their business. And so as my business was growing, I would need to teach other people to lead, right? So I was doing a lot of leadership development and pouring into other people. And that really just became my passion.
Right. And you're really good at it, by the way, because I'm a big follower of Pam Pegram's podcast, by the way. Tell people where they can find you at that.
It's called Confident Christian Influence.
Confident Christian Influence.
Yes.
And let me tell you, even if you're not a Christian, it's important to listen to it. And it's not just for women either. I think some people get caught up when women are doing podcasts. It's just for women.
Yeah.
I know you speak to ladies directly a lot of times in your podcast, but I get the message.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm not even like a faithful follower of anything, but I love your message. And it's very, it reinforces like how to walk a path, you know, of goodness, you know, and like try to see things in the best light.
And doing the right thing for the right reason.
That's your big thing. And I love that. And I'm like, man, she is on target. And this is before I ever knew you, by the way. I had stumbled upon it. I always try to look for local people doing local things. That's kind of what the local podcast is about, the local yokels. So,
I love that.
When I find it, I try to follow it as long as I can. Some of it, sometimes I'm just like, well, it's not for me. Just like the show's not for everybody. I get that, you know. But when I did find yours, and then, you know, obviously you come to light as later on in my life, a few months later, I was like, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were, you know, part of the family and the story we're going to talk about later, folks. Hold on. We will get to the white side thing, so don't worry. But I didn't know that. But I was already kind of listening to what you were doing. I'd catch you here and there, and I thought, man, she has got an amazing message.
Well, that makes me happy. Yeah. I'm glad you found it. Yeah.
I did, and I didn't even know who you were.
Sometimes when you're podcasting, you're like, hello, is anybody listening?
Well, I often wonder that myself. I do when people do shows, you know, like, so yes, folks, the reviews, the likes, the follows, the shares are important. So I implore you all right now to go to
Confident Christian Influence.
And you can find that on Apple, Spotify, Facebook.
Wherever you listen.
Wherever you listen, they're there. So, and I can promise you, you're going to learn something. And hers are not super long like mine either. They're you pretty much have
I shoot for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you to work or get you home or, you know, while you're out for a walk, you know, things like that.
So the message is strong. And it's not all just Christian. A lot of it is just messages of leadership. That's, you know, I didn't think I needed it in my life.
Biblical principles work.
Yes.
I mean, they are the best principles to apply. And so, you know, God's wiser than all the rest of us, right? And so if we apply his principles, then they're going to work for us.
And I think that message comes clear, very clear in what you talk about on your show. So I thank you for that. Like I said, I'm tuning in every time you release one. I'm just waiting because I know it's a little different message, but it's always the same follow through, which is, again, tell people.
Do the right thing for the right reason.
Even when nobody's looking.
That's right.
That's especially what your message is.
Yes, it really matters. And I tell you, people watch what you do way more than they listen to what you say.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to teach your children something, model it. Those lectures do not work, I can tell you, on this side of raising children. But they do watch what you do.
Yeah.
And they watch. You walk out what you talk about, and they're paying attention. And so if you model it, they're going to learn way more than just if you talk about it.
Absolutely. So you mentioned to me a while back, we were talking, you were just coming out of a meeting with a bunch of accountants.
Yes.
So you were teaching a group of accountants. So you do this for the public as well. Like
I do. Yes. I work one-to-one with people, and it's really fun. A lot of my clients are a doctor or nurse practitioners. Like, you know, here they went to school for medicine, but now they're trying to run a business and lead employees.
Yeah.
Right.
And customers. customers.
The people are the problem, right? And
absolutely. And customers and clients and
nurses,
everybody.
nurse managers, accountants, like people like you go to school to study a certain topic, but then in order to go up the ladder, you have to be able to lead people.
Sure.
And it's very challenging.
It is.
It's very difficult. And so many times you think leadership is about me. I'm the leader, but it's not. You got to turn your eyeballs around. It's about the people who are following you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it goes along the same premise with coaching, any kind of leadership position, pastors, et cetera. Not all of them are the best, even though they have an amazing way of translating the word for their congregation. Sometimes they're not the best leaders.
Yeah.
So, however, any of you that are listening out there that may have a need like that, reach out to Miss Pam. You can reach her through her email. Go ahead and talk about.
Or my website.
Or your
you
website.
Go to PamPegram.com.
That's simple.
Yes.
PamPegram.com. Yeah.
Easy to find.
And I'm not going to throw her phone number out there because I'm the idiot that does that. And I talked about this before. Stacy Dodd does it too. Like we're just like really available with our phone numbers. It's crazy. So I always give him a reference because he may be the most out there guy I know as far as in the public. Just call me.
Yeah.
Just call
My
me.
website has everything, and
Absolutely.
so you can see like I do coaching, and there's a quiz on there that you can see what your leadership style is.
Yeah.
And then you can apply for just one coaching session. I mean, you don't have to sign up for 6 months or anything. You can just
or
do
a
one.
huge group or anything. It can be a one-on-one session. It can be maybe
just see if it's for you.
Absolutely. Maybe it's you and the manager of your business, or y'all just trying to help better your overall office experience.
Yes.
The culture within a business is really important.
Yes.
And you can sometimes a lot of times like people don't realize that you can have the biggest company in the world, right? But if the culture is bad at the top, it travels fast.
It does.
Yeah.
And I love to teach my clients to say, this is who we are, this is what we do.
Yes.
And once they put that in place, they can pretty much handle every situation. They can go back to, remember, this is who we are, this is what we do.
Yeah.
For instance, I have a nurse manager who leads a team, and so she tells her team, like, we work with excellence, we take care of our patients, we put their needs first, and we accept responsibility.
Sure.
For their care. And then when something happens or when somebody's has a bad attitude, she just goes back and resays that over and over again. It's like recentering or recalibrating. Remember, this is who we are. This is what we do. And it helps you address pretty much any problem you're having with your team.
Amazing.
Without having to say, you did this, you did that. You know what I mean?
I don't like generalisms.
Yeah.
Like, so part-time is in leadership, and I think most corporate America now is like they'll send out an email to everybody. Yeah. So everybody out there is thinking, was that me? Did I do that? Are they talking to me? So one of the things I would like to tell people in my years, and I have had hundreds and hundreds of employees through my life. Thankfully, none in the last 15 or so years. I don't want any more. So, but one is like generalisms are hard to deal with. Yeah. And I know it's hard when you have a big company, but take the time. Go deal with the person individually.
Yes.
And then send a message out like,
have the hard conversation.
Have the hard conversations.
Yes.
Because there's nothing worse than.
I mean, a hard conversation, you're uncomfortable for a few minutes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But then you avoid years of a dysfunctional relationship.
Absolutely. Just because you didn't go to them and say, hey, it's you. You're the problem, but we're going to help you fix it before it gets totally out of whack.
Yes.
And I can't punish our entire company by sending out this journalistic email about don't do. Right. And somebody goes, well, what did I say in the meeting? Like they take it personally. Everybody takes the jab at them personally. So if you lead from an example, like you said before, and doing the right thing and taking time out and owning it, quit worrying about attorneys, quit worrying about liabilities. Like this, if you're doing the right thing, you ain't got to worry about those things.
That's right.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think that you can let that down. Now, with that being said, what else would you like to tell the listeners, if we're so lucky to have a few today? What else is on your mind today?
Well, also, just before we hop off, what I do, I also speak on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah, so, you're a public speaker.
Yeah, I'm a public speaker, so I speak in churches. I
also Motivational speaker.
Yes. Yeah, in companies and in also churches and at women's events and at retreats and things like that. So you can also check that out on the website under the speaking tab.
Absolutely, because this is your business. Like, so you're self-employed, but you're also, you do motivational speaking, you do coaching, leadership coaching, all those kind of things. So folks, it's well-rounded. Go to her website, PamPegram.com, and see if some of those models fit your needs. And I mean, it can be, like I said, it goes back to the individual. You may just need her for a session. How cheap is a session with you?
Well, right now I'm
just one person.
Yeah, $97 hour session.
Wow. And that's cheap, folks.
That's very unheard of. It's just right now for a limited time. And just through the end of the year. Yes.
Okay, I'll do one. I'm going to buy one right now. Yeah. No.
Done.
Yeah, absolutely. Do I get any kind of coupon?
Oh, no.
I can get a little coupon, just a little bit. Maybe a little bit, yeah.
We'll
I'm probably learning more from you just by being with you at times, our conversations. Because, we know a lot of the same people and stuff, and I know you're very well thought of in our community. I've said this before, watching you in public after some of the stuff's went on with the Whiteside case. I mean, I'm so impressed. Like, the way that you handle yourself in public is probably the strength that people don't realize, that it takes a lot of strength to stand up in front of the public, dealing with the things that you've had to deal with your family, and also still, keep up appearances with your job. You got to stay focused on helping others. It's always your goal. It is a business, but it's a passion as well. So going out in public speaking in the middle of all this stuff going on, and also trying to kind of remember how to help others, and overall just try to grow your business.
Right.
Yeah. At the same time, take care of your family.
You still have to go to work.
Still got to go to work. Got to get up.
You still
put your britches on. Yeah.
And really, when you continue with your life, even in the midst of a really hard and heavy season, it gives you just a little bit of a reprieve here and there. Yeah. And what you find too is a lot of times you're with people who are going through hard things as well.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's going through something.
And you realize, well, I'm not the only one. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And so
that
can be helpful.
I think the other day, this is funny, Thanksgiving Day, I get done at Dale's and I go over to my neighbor. She still has a home there, but her family has moved her out of town just because of her age. She's 97 years old. And she just had a birthday, and she's got all of her family, probably 30, 40 people in the house. And I come in just like I own the place because she's been my neighbor for 20 plus years. Yeah. And I'm still amazed at how, vibrant she is. And so I said, "Did you have a good birthday party?" She goes, "I woke up, Neil."
There you go.
She goes, "I have a great day every day." You know, so like she looks at it as like, all the terrible things going on in the world. She's aware. Like she sees it, hears it, still got off her mind, still walking, talking, doing her thing. Don't need to drive. I mean, definitely don't need to drive. Yes. But she's aware of the terrible things that happen to folks, and they have stuff going on in their family too. But like she's still just so thankful that she's able to be here and be with them,
that's right.
and fight through it every day. Because at her age, it'd be real easy to just lay down and just let things happen, but she's up and at them. She's still baking pies. I mean, what an amazing story,
Yes,
just because she's focused on this one day. Guess what else she was interested in that day?
Football.
Yes. She was worried about.
Not surprised.
I said, "What are y'all doing tomorrow? You going to be in town?" She goes, "We're going down to my daughter's house and watch Ole Miss hopefully kick the tire out of Mississippi State, So that's her goal. Big Ole Miss fans. By the way, are y'all big fans?
Yeah, we're a house divided.
Your house divided. So it's, oh my goodness.
Some of both.
I grew up in Alabama. I'm from Alabama, and I'm an Alabama fan by birth. So I'm not a homer. I didn't just jump on the bandwagon. I went through the bad times as well. But today, when we get done, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to live through this debacle of the Iron Bowl again. But also, because I've lived here so long, I'm an Ole Miss guy, but I just love a good game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I like to see Mississippi. I like to see them both succeed. But as a house divided, it's tough. So on to the next topic, Miss Pam. What are we talking about next?
So you were talking about me speaking at that press conference.
Yeah.
So we can just go back to that point.
This would be at the school board. Let's clarify what people are talking about.
No. This was after the trial.
Oh, right after the sentencing trial back in October, by the 13th or somewhere in that range. Mm-hmm. Yeah, October 13th. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So my family member was the victim.
Yes. In
that situation, and we had known about it for a year. And honestly, the case was so incredibly strong, like
evidence.
Yes, and so when they asked me to speak, I intended to say, now that she has been found guilty.
Yes.
And as part of that, and so I was really quite shocked. Matter of fact, and just blown away. It ended, and then my whole family went, had to kind of went in different directions because they took the immediate family, the victim and her parents, out a different door, and then we went out another door. Anyway, it was just a little bit like,
what just happened?
What just happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just totally shell-shocked and just surprised. And I really think everyone in the room was surprised, not just the victim's family, but anyway, they called me and asked me to come and still talk. And so I only had just minutes or really. I just pulled my car around and the DA was waiting on me, and then we went straight there without me even seeing anybody or talking to anybody. And so I was able to just say most what I had prayed about saying, but then just still say, okay, God, like, please just be with me here in this moment. And He was. And I was able to communicate effectively. This has been we've been through a lot. My family has throughout our life. Like, we've been through a lot. And if I sat here and mentioned everything, I think you'd be like, wow, golly. But this has been really hard and heavy and devastating in so many areas of our life and impacted so many areas of our life. And so we've carried it for a full year. I mean, we carried it for a long time before anyone knew.
Right. That's something I'm curious about too. Was there an immediate, I know that a lot of people know the timeline, like from early November, and there was an indictment put place in like mid-December of 2024. But was there a time period prior to that y'all had been dealing with this already?
No, we found out on November 6th.
Okay. That's when the text message was discovered.
Yeah.
Right.
Text messages.
64,000 pages worth.
You couldn't even, it was, you just couldn't even go back far. I mean, it was just so much.
Never ending.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was just never ending.
It was never ending.
Yeah.
And we were just really, honestly, this was somebody that we loved and trusted and had embraced, and allowed to be around, be a part of our family, and really thought we were doing a good thing and the right thing. And we were blindsided, completely blindsided, like never in a million years saw that. And that's really important for anybody listening to know. Do not be so prideful and arrogant to think that this can never happen to me or this can never happen in my family, because there are people who are great deceivers. And if you're not one, you don't think like that. Just
That's
like
right.
you said, you're always honest and tell the truth. And so you probably trust easily because you assume other people are honest.
It's probably one of my biggest faults.
Yeah, you think everybody else is honest
Yeah.
and telling the truth, and so you just don't pick up on it.
My poor mother was like that. I used to say, Mom, you're so gullible. She was like, Neil, I can't help it. I mean, I just, she goes, I try to see the good in everyone.
And it's not really being gullible.
But
it's
I think
just
what it
not
is
having an evil mind.
It's
like
a perfect place to be in your mind, like for a standpoint, like you're happy. You're not worried about the evil people in the world. But like, man, folks, we got to be on guard. Like literally, if this case teaches you anything, it's not to trust anyone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
well,
to a point, like what I mean is like, don't trust them with your children. Don't trust them in a sense of to where, it's so hard because nobody could have seen that coming. I mean,
you just can't live in a bubble. You can't, and you can't protect to all extents. And so what we can do is change what we do when we find out these things.
How you behave.
We need to educate, and we need to train, and we need to teach awareness and all of that. And for instance, like with me, I'm a leadership coach. And so my daughter, it's still dark outside. She's like, open the door. I'm on your front porch. And because we live on this compound, right? And so I did. I went and opened the door, and she came in. And so she starts telling me, and we start talking. And I should have said, let's call the police right now. I should have said that. I did not.
Right.
I did not. So she had already, said, here's what's happening. Here's what we're about to do. And so I was just like dumbfounded in that moment. I really was.
And they were shocked, didn't know exactly what to do either.
No, no.
As a parents, by the way, I want to tell them directly by listening, nobody blames y'all. Like a lot of people say stuff all the time, like, well, how did the parents? I'm like, they didn't know either. They trusted this lady too. Like, they took her in as family. She was from the same church, She was put in a leadership role to help their daughter. That's what deceivers do. They took advantage of the whole entire family, including yourself.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
A strong woman that's seen a lot, been through a lot, still was caught up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There were times when I would ask some questions.
Yeah.
They were always answered.
Yes.
With lies.
Yes.
I know that now.
Yeah.
I know that now, but I didn't know that in the moment.
Right.
And I'd even asked other people who knew her about her. Is she solid? Is she, and I was assured she was. And she wasn't. She's not.
No, not even close.
There was so much. Now that I have seen everything and read her words and what she said and what she did, and now that I have clarity around that, the amount of deception
that was ongoing, by the way. Like,
yes.
It wasn't like it was a one-time, oops, I shouldn't have said that to her. I'm going to mislead her.
Oh, no, it was grooming. Grooming went on for a long time.
This, folks, we're not talking about it was just innocent enough and like she realized her faults and stopped. This stuff went on and would have continued to go on had it not been for the finding of the text messages.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this would still be going on probably.
And it was grooming. And,
Absolutely.
And I've even sat with a Christian counselor who is trained in trauma and situations like this, and even sat with her and talked to her about this is what happened and went through it. And she says it's a classic case of grooming.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Classic case.
Now,
it's not.
With that being said, there's a new grooming law in the books in Mississippi that came forth July 1st. And had it been in place prior to, we wouldn't even be talking about this. Like it had been done, should have been put away because that evidence alone in itself would have put her away. They'd have had no other way because there would have been no question what took place because there wouldn't even have to be any kind of like activity. It's just the grooming itself.
Right.
And so thankfully they got that on the books. And then there's some other stuff that's coming you and I'll talk about later that's trying to get put on the books to stop some other stuff going on. But continuing on with talking about the from the time that you found the text messages and how you reacted, not necessarily in a bad way, but just not knowing what to do,
Right. Mm-hmm. Just not know. I mean, there is no playbook for this.
No.
Like there is
no.
And nobody's taught you.
Absolutely.
Like your parents didn't tell you.
No.
Now, if one of your children is a victim of a sexual predator, here is what you do, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so you just don't know. And so, but there needs to be. And so that's one thing that I'm growing really passionate about is that we have got to create awareness. There's got to be training. There's got to be teaching. There's got to be, we need to talk about this. I mean, there are so many things that we're not comfortable talking about, and this is one of them. And we've got to talk about it. That we can't stop it if we don't talk about it.
What's the hard word for parents to talk to their children about?
What's the hardware?
The hard word.
Oh, the hard word, sex.
That's right.
Yes,
so say it loud, folks. Like it's real. Like it's in our life. It's human nature. It's all these things that we're all going to go through.
Yeah.
Because that's how we get us, right? So it's something you need to talk to them about. What's okay. And it's not always just about someone, touching a young child. That is the worst of the worst for sure. But like the grooming. All the things that how do you behave once you find it out? Like that's the thing you're talking about, teaching others, having something in place, not only in your family.
No, churches and
schools,
daycares.
All that, yes.
Everybody needs to have policies and procedures in place, and things need to happen quickly to protect not only.
And I think that's where you want to go with this, right?
The victim about, but any other victim,
future victims, because this is already done for your granddaughter. Like. It's happened, all right? There's no going back from this. There's a healing process, and I hope, but it's forever, right? Like it's going to be an ongoing healing process for a long time for her and the family, by the way. And I hate that we have to keep talking about it because it does almost revisit the thing for the victim. That's what I hate about this most, is because we have to discuss it publicly a lot of times to get the outrage up enough to where we get something done.
Yeah, and I think it's very important, too, for people to understand, like even with me talking to you, there was a day when I'm like, I can't. Yeah. It's not a good day for me.
My head's in a bad place. Yeah.
Yes, I was not in a good headspace because this is extremely heavy.
Yes.
And if you've never been through something like this, you don't even understand the weight of it. It is really, really heavy, and it can just zoom, just pull you so far down. And so I've watched that with the victim, with her family, with even with us, and there are days that are just super challenging and hard because the weight of it.
Yeah.
It's evil and it's vile and it's just so much. But then other days were better. And I think that's confusing sometimes because even, somebody will tell me, hey, I saw so-and-so and they seem to be doing great. Well, today.
Yeah. And that's her outward appearance, by the way. And she's been
I just laughed. It's really not funny at all. I mean, just because we smile
Yes.
does not mean the pain is gone or that we're not
I don't
suffering
think it's
or
ever going to
struggling.
be gone for her. Ever. And then for the family, like I was talking about earlier about the parents, you as grandparents, like I'm sure you question, like, how could we have stopped this? How could we have, kept this from happening?
I wonder, I wish I could, let's
absolutely.
rewind, let me step in.
But you can't. So what you do is you got to try to figure out, like, this is happening to your granddaughter. You're learning from every step from the time y'all found out to where we're at right now to this day. How do we help others? Like, how do we know it's going to happen again. There's no way to stop it. Like, there's just predators out there looking for the opportunity to groom children. It's a matter about, I would love to stop it. I would love to have some kind of magical theory to where we could just stop it all.
Well, harsher laws.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Harsh sentences.
Absolutely.
That's
the biggest thing.
Will go a long way because let me tell you what happened when this predator was given house arrest, which was ridiculous. She was given from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., was her house arrest. That's ridiculous. Yep. So if you're someone who is considering taking that next step to be a predator,
yes,
well, that just encouraged you.
Well, it didn't tell you that there was going to be harsh penalties.
Discourage you.
Yeah, it didn't discourage you.
Right?
Like I told you my theories on it before, that I just love to ship them all off the coast of Mississippi somewhere on a predator island, And
then if you're a victim who you were considering reporting your predator.
Oh, you're never coming.
You're like, well, why would I? Because here this victim was brave and took the stand and told her story in front of strangers and in front of the predator.
Yes.
And
confronted
her. And did it, there were news people in the room. There were people that we loved who were sitting on the other side of the aisle.
Which is
with the predator. And she still sat up there and told her story. And even the newscasters said it was hard to listen to. But she did it.
Yep.
Because she thought that there would be justice. And she thought that the judge would do the right thing in this situation. And then what he did was really, I don't know that I've ever heard of that happening anywhere else ever before, where the case was so strong and solid. And then for him to say, jail is for people you're afraid of, and I'm not afraid of you. Well, that's ridiculous, first of all, because jail, you can't look at somebody and know if you should be afraid or not, right? Ted Bundy was really good looking, and he was a serial killer.
Absolutely.
So you can't look at somebody, right? You can't read a book by its cover. Like, you cannot look at somebody and know who they are. And so that is a ridiculous statement. And that is not critical thinking when you're trying to make a decision on sentencing.
Well, that's why he eventually recused himself, because he knew he didn't have an answer for it. You know what I mean? And it was public outcry forced his hand to just back up and say, well, I can't explain what I did. I don't want to face it, because of my beliefs. I truly believe the influence from the people who read all the letters that we talked about definitely had a hand in that. And also, I just don't think some of these, I don't know, some folks just think because there's not a man involved, it's not as serious, and they're just wrong for that.
I don't think the judge was doing the right thing for the right reason.
Yeah.
Honestly. That's what I'm...
Well, tell us what you think, Pam.
Well, I think he was doing the wrong thing for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
I think there was a reason he did it.
Yeah.
And he'll never tell us the truth about it. And I can guess, but... he wasn't doing the right thing for the right reason. Clearly.
That is clear as day to everybody watching.
That? As a retared judge who's coming into special cases, why would you disgrace your title?
Your whole legacy.
Your whole I just don't get it. I don't.
And in the same
with it.
breath, not even a month before that, just hammer a guy.
Yeah.
Hammer a guy.
And he said to the guy, the guy was not that guy that you're talking about. I can't think of his name. I'm so sorry. I wish I could.
Yeah.
He was not in a position of trust.
No. He just happened to be 19.
And he said, I don't think you'll reoffend, but I have to give you jail time, prison time.
So what does that say in the case with Lindsay? What does it say?
Just because let me tell you something. Nobody can say, I don't think you'll reoffend. Nobody can say that because none of us thought she would.
No.
No one. Not a friend, not her mom, not her family, not our family. No one thought she would do that. No one. She was in seminary. She was serving on staff at church. She was preaching. Sometimes she would preach from the pulpit. She talked about, that supposed to be pursuing this deep relationship with Jesus. But if you read those 64,000 text messages, she was not. That is not what was first and foremost on her mind. It's vile and it's evil is all I can tell you. And she was in pursuit.
Yeah.
She was doing all of the common grooming things. She was isolating. She was crossing boundaries. She was controlling, separating from people that, she was texting so much because she didn't want the victim to even have a thought.
Beyond
she
her.
Wasn't,
that she wasn't the most important person.
That she wasn't controlling.
Yeah.
Right? Because because she wanted what she wanted.
Yeah.
And so nobody can say she'll not offend again because no one knows her. Yeah. No one that I've talked to yet had, because they didn't think that she would ever do it in the first place. So how could they say she wouldn't do it again?
And some ridiculous people out here that are using the word like consensual blow my freaking mind, man. I don't even know how to explain that.
Okay, so that's crazy too, to me.
Yeah, it is.
And this started when the victim was young and in a vulnerable place.
Tell them the age.
Well, she started grooming her when she was 16. I don't even know if she was 16
15.
yet.
We thought 15.
I really think she was about 15.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look at some of the text messages. But I do know the first text messages, the victim was saying, yes, ma'am.
Yes, originally.
No, ma'am.
D.A. Barton said that, I think in our interview, that it started at 15 with the yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It was very clear. It was started out that way, and then it quickly turned to, you're my favorite, you're so special, that kind of stuff, started with that grooming type talk.
And other things that are just sick. I won't even share with you. I mean, it's just gross and it's sick. But she started doing all of this manipulation and even coercion throughout it, and wouldn't let her break out of it. She tried to break out of it. Yeah. And
well, and like I said, even if she was a little bit like, at first, probably flattered, someone older was interested in
stuff, I can remember being in my 20s and having a boss who would tell me how beautiful I am. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, 60-year-old
so
Bob.
Nice. That is so
my
sweet.
Gosh.
You don't know what,
what their intentions are.
Yeah, you don't.
The agenda. And then you get caught up in what, any teenage person that's listening, anybody, we've all been teenagers, so we know how interesting it might have been for somebody older to be interested in us. And that's kind of part of what it was. Like it's what's vile is she's 10 years older, roughly 9, whatever. Yeah. Even if she hadn't been in a position of authority, folks, it would have been.
She was a grown adult.
It was a grown adult, and that would have been against the law.
She knew better.
Yes.
She lied like a dog.
Yep.
She did. She lied like a dog so that to protect her own interest and to be able to do it. She knew it was wrong or she would not have been lying about it.
And then when she was caught, she continued to lie and spun the narrative to the public people that she knew, because she had time to go and say, oh, well, it was just a couple of text messages, nothing really happened. So she got all these letters of confidence written on her behalf because people are like, well, I can see a mistake with that, and then that's where you get to where we are now with these people standing 10 toes down, still supporting her, which is nuts.
I don't know that they really, I don't know. I just can't believe, I think they're afraid to come out.
I think they are. I think people, I think even now, we talked about this personally between you and I on a phone conversation a while back, that even if they were now to come out and go, hey, I was duped. I didn't know the truth. Like, once the sentencing hearing happened, I didn't know what to do. I was afraid I was losing my job. I was afraid I was going to lose my credibility. Folks, people will forgive you. If you didn't know, I understand, like, yes, she was already indicted and they pleaded guilty and stuff, but like, you didn't know the severities of things maybe. But I can tell you this, they don't indict you in the state of Mississippi or anywhere else unless they have evidence. So our DA had plenty of evidence and like so confident there was no plea deals offered, there was no nothing, That's why, folks, if you ever want to support somebody, even if you know Miss Pam here, and not that she would ever get in trouble, but like, you need to investigate things before you just go 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yes, you need to investigate.
Letters from. Yeah. So like, but I think that the public would forgive you.
Especially in a situation where they have already been indicted.
And admitted guilt.
Well, she hadn't admitted guilt yet.
Not at that point.
But she had been indicted for sexual battery against a minor. Now, I don't care who it is. will you write a letter of support
Absolutely
for that
not.
person?
Not even my own child. Like, I wouldn't even do it for my own child.
Like I need to see the evidence. I need to know more. But if you're a mandated reporter, you can't support that, period.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. And this is what people need to understand. When you are a child,
but you can't hold your job. That's the thing. You're going to have to leave that position that you have.
You can't do both.
You can't do both. Yeah.
Right. It's either or. It's not both and.
Right.
And the thing for us to understand, too, is that when you have a child and an adult, a child cannot consent.
Ever.
And when a person is in a position of trust, it's even more laws and more things against it.
Should have been held at a higher.
And when there's a vulnerable person. And so what people don't realize either is if it had been two adults,
right,
and she was counseling a grown adult and crossed the line,
it's still
it's
illegal.
A crime.
It's still a crime.
It is
That's
illegal.
Right.
But now this is a child who didn't even have her driver's license.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can't buy cigarettes, can't buy alcohol, can't, she has all of these things she can't do, but yet you're saying she can consent? That's ridiculous.
That's where that word just drives me up the wall. It does.
But here's the thing. This is what I have said so many times. What if the victim had done that? What if the victim had been the one crossing the lines? The adult should have said, stop.
Absolutely not. Yes.
Tell the parent, tell your pastor, I can't work with this child. She didn't do any of that.
No.
She plotted and planned to be around her more, trying to, how can I do this? How can I do that? What can I do here? What can I do there? She went to great lengths
to get alone time. Every time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's really, if people knew the story, they would be shocked. And there are people who think they know the story who do not know the story. I can tell you.
We just know the little snippets that's been allowed to get out in public.
Very little.
And it's already so mad. Like, that can make you mad enough, just knowing the little details that are out there. But it goes so much deeper. So
this is the thing. We can't just go, well, I know her or I know. Okay. The thing is that we don't know her. None of us knew her.
Yeah,
okay?
Clearly. You know her now.
Right.
You do.
but you can't make that the point. So what the point needs to be now is, what do we do to protect the next victims? I mean, studies show, they're all different numbers, like 1 in 3, 1 in 5 girls will be, this will happen
and
to
boys,
before the age of 18. And most of the time it happens between 13 and 17.
That's right.
That's the most common ages where this happens. So we have to protect these kids. They are not prepared for the pursuit of an adult.
No.
They are not. No. They are not wise enough. They don't pick up, even in these text messages with my family member who's a victim, the predator would say something and the victim would say, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand that. It was way over her head. You know what I mean? And so this is what happens. And so we have to protect them. If we don't fight hard for the age to be 18, before we turn around, it'll be 15. And before we turn around, it'll be 13.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we're going to be like other countries where it's okay for adults to have sex with children. We do not want that. So we have got to stand up and advocate for all children.
Period.
For all children.
Yeah,
yes.
And they're children, by the way. Anything under 18, we've clarified in this country. So then people want to say things
children. What about when it's 17 and 18? Or what about if it was 17 and 19? Then they can wait.
That's right.
They have to wait, or it's a crime.
Absolutely.
If they don't wait, they're going to run the risk of getting in trouble. Well, that goes back to
the grooming laws, too. So, you shouldn't even be in a position to wait. You don't need to be talking to a child.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That's the whole point of that. That when I had Misty Gray from Healing Hearts on, we clarified those boundaries of age. It's not, a lot of people are confused. If she wasn't a pastor or youth pastor, it would have been okay. No, it wouldn't have. Her age, it was already out of range by that because she's an adult.
Yes. So 9 years, 9.5 years.
So I think the rule is, from what Misty explained, was it's a 24-month rule at 15 and 14, dating wise or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then once you turn 16, there's a 36-month rule, 17, 36. At 18, then the limit's off. But there again, you should not be talking to anyone. So you need to define, the laws need to be out there. I think that when I repeat this a lot on the show is because I want people to know what their limits are. You need to teach your children as they get older also how to look at things when they start dating, because if you're 20 years old and you're dating a 15-year-old, you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You should be in trouble. for that. And it can, I know sometimes it's like statutory laws and things like that when they talk about statutory rape and things like that. It's so confusing. And I can understand how people can get caught up. But the reality of it is, if you just in your head just realize that that's a child, I'm an adult.
Yes.
I know she may look like a grown adult but they're not mentally equipped to handle what you're trying to put them through.
Right.
And that's where you're crossing the line. Whether it be legal or not, it's just wrong.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
And I think that in this case with Lindsay, she knew what she was doing was wrong.
Oh, yes, she did.
And
too, she was even in a church where she's teaching purity.
Yes.
Teaching the kids to wait, but yet pursuing one. And also teaching, heterosexual relationship, but engaging in homosexual. You know what I mean? Like
she was living in a closet, probably.
She was totally, she totally had on a mask. It was a facade.
Everything.
And so, yes, who she was pretending to be and who she is not the same thing. And so, and two, if we are looking at all of the arrests that have just been made in DeSoto County with predators against children, y'all, we have a crisis. This is a problem. I think
it's been there before, like it's been ongoing. It's not something new. And by the way, I want to say this, and I think you would agree with this. We have an amazing school district. We have some fantastic educators. We have some amazing school board members. We have great leadership, great principals, great teachers. We're only talking about a couple of folks that's made a bad decision to support this lady. You know what I mean? This adult predator. Unfortunately.
Yes. I mean, my own family are teachers. My daughter-in-law's a teacher. My son-in-law's a teacher. Like, we are in the school system and advocating for the school system. And we, appreciate the school board and what most of the school board, I should say.
Well, yeah, let's say
what they have done,
everyone but one of them.
Except for one who has really messed up. And she just needs to own it at this point and resign. And so, like, all of this is an issue. So we have to stand firm on this. I mean, a lot of what is happening in our society and in our county is because we've been shrinking back for a long time.
We have. We've been like covering for others. We've been kind of like sweeping it under the rug if they had a power position. Yeah. I think that the one thing, and I don't want to really talk about her specific name, but like the school board member that will not stand down or resign, nobody understands it. Like, we can't even understand how you'd burn your whole legacy over this.
Yeah.
And also when the public is asking you to stand down because you cannot support her and still represent children. You cannot support a accused and prosecuted, by the way, sexual offender and have a power like you have and represent our children. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what blows my mind. Well, and
she was in the courtroom that day, and she heard the victim sob, and she saw the mom and the dad and
heard all the evidence.
Heard all of the evidence and heard the predator confess. There was a long list of things the judge read out, and she had to acknowledge this long list of all of these. Y'all, they're violent, evil, they're awful.
And she admitted to all of it.
She admitted to all of them. Yes, I did. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did. Like, she acknowledged all of them and pled guilty. Mm-hmm. And after this lady she was in the courtroom, she heard everything that we heard.
And it was vile stuff, right?
Yes.
Like, it's not just like simple.
Like the grown men were saying they were so uncomfortable being in the room. Yeah. And then she heard all of that. And then she was brought up on the stand and was given an opportunity to retract her letter. And she did not. Yeah. She did not. That's a problem. That's a problem. She's on our school board.
And by the way, will not explain herself even to her fellow board members why she will not and why she is supporting so hard.
I was at the board member and asked her to stand down.
Yeah, I know. It's very disrespectful what she did to you, by the way. Yeah. I mean, at least look you in the eye without having me asked to. Get rid of the gum, the chomping of the gum. Like, you could not stand being there any second longer, but you just have to be because you have to be there. She can't avoid that. Like, so at the end of the day, I'm going to again ask you, please resign, help the community heal, because really by you doing this, you're keeping people outraged. And if that's what you want, then fine, support your person, but you can't do it in the position that you have of trust and authority over other children, which, by the way, it's in the thousands that she represents. People don't realize that.
And she represents the school district where the victim attended.
She
was in that school district. Yes, while this was going on.
Thousands of children in her district that she actually represents. And what signal is that sending to them?
Right.
And
my son-in-law asked her, if you'll do this, what other deals are you making that we don't know about? Like, what other things are you supporting? That aren't okay. Like,
I just hate that she's burned her whole legacy over this. Yeah. Because I don't really truly
listen,
believe.
if she would, she in that courtroom, when they asked her if she wanted to recant, I fully expected her to look at the predator side and their family and say, I'm sorry, I cannot support it.
Yeah, I can't stand behind this.
Now that I know what I know, I withdraw my letter.
Yeah. And really, from what I understand, didn't even know why it's not that great. Just kind of did it out of representation.
No, and that's the thing
daughter.
too. Like, part of the thing that she agrees to as a school board member is to use critical thinking.
Yes.
And she says the reason she wrote it was because her daughter asked her to.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
A minor child.
My children have asked me to do a lot of things.
I don't do anything they ask me to unless I investigate it first.
Well, I got to
investigate it. I'm saying, like, when they ask me stuff, I'm like, well, tell me more.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Yes.
I trust you more than anybody, but tell me more.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Especially a teenage child. You know what I mean? And I'm assuming that she has a teenage child that asked her to do that for her or something.
I don't know how old her child was, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Even if they're grown. My 31-year-old son right now could call me and ask me to do things like, hey, Dad, I'm in trouble. I need your help. And I'm like, what's going on? I need to know the details before I can just...
And did you do this?
Yes.
Or did you
yes,
not?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's always consequences to every action. And so she's going to see these here. And unfortunately, it's going to, I got a feeling it's going to go. So let's focus on what's going to happen now.
So let's talk about that. The school board, the other members of the school board passed a resolution, and we are so thankful to them.
Yes.
They passed a resolution and said that they would support that. It's a House Bill 817 to be revisited where...
It failed last year.
It failed last year.
Which I don't even understand how that failed.
And what it would do would give the other school board members...
Statewide, by the way, not just DeSoto County.
Yes, so important. Yeah. Across the state.
Yeah.
And
because, folks, it's everywhere. It's not just here, by the way.
An elected school board member is there until the next election time.
Yeah, like they can't...
Even if they do something atrocious.
They can't unseat her.
So if this bill gets passed, then that would give them the right to vote someone off for misconduct.
Right. So like if they as a group can vote her off.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes that kind of power. And right now, a recall election couldn't even get it done, I don't think.
So it's a really big deal for our school board to stand behind that and to write that resolution, because that means that they're held accountable too.
Yes.
But that's what good people do, y'all. Hold us accountable.
Well, it's kind of part of what they did when people were looking at Corey Usselton, our superintendent. Everybody was looking for him for guidance, and certainly so. He's our leader of our educational program, and I think he was doing the best he could do. But
he works for the school board.
He works for them.
Yes.
They appoint him.
Yes.
They're his boss. Well, mistakenly, people didn't know that, but the prior school board superintendent, he was their boss. So the way it used to work was that was an elected position. The school board member was. So he was just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the board themselves as a collective. I'm not sure how that works, but so when the new one come in, they agreed that it would be appointed from now on and not elected, so they could remove them and whatever. If something happened in the position of superintendent, they can say, well, he's not doing a great job leadership wise. As a board, we can appoint who we want to. So that was part of the deal.
Yes.
But they need to go a little further and allow some powers to where they can also handle bad school board members. And it's like any other government body, like, aldermen or whatever, you have to have ways to get them out, if they're bad seeds, so to speak. Folks, we got a bad seed right now in our school board. Maybe a great person in her personal life, may have done a ton of stuff for children, but at this point, she has absolutely messed it all up just by doing what she has done.
Well, I mean, she's failed here, and so she needs to step down from this position. Yeah. It doesn't mean that she can't go on and do great things.
Absolutely.
I mean, she could come out today and say, I've messed up, and I'm going to step down based on this. I want to do what's right. I'm going to do the right thing for the right reason, right? And she could make some really good choices and go on and do great things.
Why she don't do that, I don't know.
I don't know
Would
either.
you and the family understand it and forgive her at some point in time?
Well, yeah.
Of course you would.
Yes.
Because that's who the people you are.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
but she needs to leave her position.
Absolutely. You cannot be.
That's just accepting accountability that you messed up.
Any school teacher, and I think there's more that are in the letter writing committee of character that they wrote for her.
Yeah.
There's a few more probably that we don't know about because the letters are sealed still. The very few that we do know that's public, they had it cost them their jobs. Even the
honestly, I think through what would I do? What would I do if I was in this position and I had written this letter? And I'm so proud of the two who came out. That took great strength
Sure.
for them to come out and say, I wish I had not written this letter. And I think there are probably other people who wish they had not written the letter, and I don't know why they're not saying anything.
Well, if anything, I think that most people, when those two youngsters, I think they were like 19, 20 years old, came out and said, hey, look, we didn't really know everything.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like friends that asked us, business owners that asked us that we work for, which also is a problem in my mind. When I start listening to that stuff, like how did these letters get written? Because they were asking for them. I don't know if the attorney was doing it or the friends of Lindsay or whoever, but the pressure was put on them.
Yeah.
I don't know. But point being is they came out and said, hey, we didn't know. We were bamboozled, like we really didn't know the details. So we can't stand behind this. Well, the public tend to forgave them.
Yeah.
Like nobody was like, nah, it's too late now.
Everybody was like, good job.
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
job.
So I think that would still happen here. If you're listening and watching the show, understand Miss Pam just says her whole family has forgiveness in their heart. Like if you just didn't know the severity of what took place.
I'll even tell you about the predator. What she did is violent evil, and she deserves to be in prison for a very long time.
Yes.
That's what I believe with all of my heart. But I pray for her. I pray that she finds her way to Jesus. And I know that she said, I'm sorry, but I didn't see any remorse.
You didn't believe her?
Where's the remorse? Where is I can't believe and there was really no remorse for what she's done to the victim, really, and so it's hard to see it. Like, where is the evidence? And where's the proof? Where's the fruit of that? It's really confusing, because you can say I'm sorry all day long, but there has to be repentance, remorse. And
I think that's a problem. I think there's people like that in general, though, Pam, they don't see that they're wrongdoing. You know what I mean? She's having to face the fire because she's caught. You know what I mean? The evidence was too stacked against her. She couldn't deny what she did, but she still don't see any wrongdoing. You know what I mean? That's the problem. I think that's why
she did look at the judge and say it was for me it was real.
Yes.
Listen. It was sick.
It was sick, but I'm saying,
sick. Listen,
that's why she needs to be locked up, by the way.
Even if, let's just say the victim had been 25 years old and the same thing happened.
Yes.
And she said all the same things and did all of the things, it was sick.
It was still vile. Yeah.
She was like,
because
she was a
details
predator.
Right.
She was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why I say, I think that's the whole problem because, even after she was indicted, she was out publicly, the businesses that put her face, so to speak, in front of their business to represent them clearly.
Yeah, that's so disappointing.
It is very disappointing.
That was so disappointing because, I understand, and that's what it's been like, even in the case and stuff, they tried to act like our family didn't want her to have any support. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. Matter of fact, my daughter, who's the mother of the victim, called the mother of the predator so she could be the one to tell her what was happening when she was getting fired and the police were being called and all of that.
Right.
That was grace.
That was very much grace.
It was grace.
Yeah.
It
wasn't grace.
But what they said, they've acted like all they got was a phone call. No, that phone call was love and grace.
Yeah. This is coming.
Being shown your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is coming. Prepare yourself, and we know you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're helping you, and
and that's been a very interesting thing too. And that's something else I think I really want to advocate for because there's been some people or people who don't understand that want to make the predator the victim. And that's just...
That makes me ill.
Diabolical to me. It very
much so is, yeah.
She's not the victim of this.
It goes back to that dumb word we talked about earlier, that they think it was consensual, so they keep thinking, well, they were in a relationship. No, they were not.
No.
There wasn't even a possibility of that. No. I know that Lindsay has convinced you of that or whoever, and I think that's part of the whole problem, Pam, is people that are on her side, they see it that way. They they don't realize how.
And they don't realize how messed up people are when they're I don't know what to even call it. But when you're a predator or something, like even back when, do you remember that Rachel Denhollander? She was a gymnast, and is it Larry Vassar was his name? He was the doctor for the gymnast.
Oh, in Michigan.
and he was abusing the gymnast.
A bunch of them, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when she came out, when they reported it and they came to him, he's like, oh, I'm not doing it, but here's what we're going to do. Yeah. We're going to contact this person. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. I mean, it's all fake and a facade. Like he's pretending, oh, I'm going to help you, stand against this. He was the predator.
Yes. Yes.
He was the predator the whole time. So that's what people are just missing.
Well, I think it's important to know how Lindsay got involved to begin with. I mean, we need to tell people about that don't know, that she was struggling, the granddaughter, and needed some counseling of her own. And
we had moved.
Reached out through the church.
We moved, and so we decided to go to a new church. We all went to this new church, and so there was one of my granddaughters was a youth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so wanted to get her involved in the youth. And then it was a female youth pastor. And so we thought, this
even better.
Great mentor.
Yes.
And so she was supposed to be mentoring her in the Word and counseling her because she had been through some stuff. And
like normal young teenagers do.
Yeah.
Questioning every aspect of her life. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel that way?
Yeah.
And they literally delivered her to the sheep and wolves, or the wolf in sheep's clothing. I say that word because that is absolutely what took place. On accident, though. They didn't know.
No,
they didn't know. They had a ton of trust because it was
and
a
throughout
church.
the whole thing, this predator was pretending to be caring for her, pointing her in the right direction, mentoring her, leading her, like all of these things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And was pretending to be a part of the family.
Which to me, when you think about it, like big church, by the way, I won't speak of them on here because it's really not. I want to give them a little bit of grace too in the sense of that word because the members of the church are not at fault here. You know what I mean? I know there's some amazing people that go there.
Yes, lots of amazing people.
A lot of amazing people. However, it's a big church. So for me, so when I start thinking about this and I think about how involved she was with your family on an individual basis, that's a big red flag. Like she couldn't do that with every single kid in that.
No, but like a lot of times when people are in ministry and they're young, like you want to help them, so you feed them.
Sure.
You help them, right? Because they've surrendered their life to the Lord and they're trying to do the right thing and they're going to seminary and I've had that my whole life.
Right. So
my whole entire life.
Y'all kind of invited her in a little bit.
They were eating at our house on Sundays. They were, we were buying this for them, or they're having their first baby. Okay, let's throw them a shower. Because they're young and poor and they're in seminary and they're struggling, and she was still living at home. But I mean, I can remember sitting at the table saying, why do you still live at home?
Yeah. At 25. Or whatever.
Shouldn't you have your own place? Like by the time I was her age, I had already bought my first house, been married, bought my first house, had 2 children, and was going through a divorce. She's still living at home. I'm like, so I had been like kind of prodding her, like, it's time to grow up. It's time to move out, you know?
But probably because her maturity level wasn't so good. At the end of the day, I don't think she could. And that kind of goes through with what she did here.
I don't really know. It's very confusing. I don't really understand the whole dynamic.
I would be interested to see her mental level. I would. In this whole thing, where she really sits in her mental capacity. And so that's something nobody talks about. We know she did it. We know that she was smart enough to manipulate everybody in the world, right? Well, that's what narcissists do and predators do. I mean, I think that the word narcissist rings true in all. I mean, it's very rare you meet someone that checks all the boxes on that title. And I think from what I understand and what I've read, she checks a high majority of the boxes in a narcissism definition, just because of the manipulation.
Yeah, because even throughout the whole, we knew for a whole year and we were silent.
Yeah.
But yet she would make these, she would go live.
Like Facebook and stuff? Oh.
And
like during the time.
I would get these phone calls like, what in the world? Why is she not hiding and retreating? And she's about to go to court. Like, what is she doing? I'm like, she's trying to manipulate the public. That's what she's trying to do, manipulate the public. And even as I watched those, I was like, even what she was saying, some of the scriptures she was saying and some of the things that she was sharing, like, they weren't even accurate. You know what I mean? Like that's not what that means.
Saying she was an adulterer and that wasn't even what she was doing. Right. Using the wrong terminology and all stuff.
And even just how she applied it, it just wasn't even accurate. And so that was all, you know.
It was, I'm sure it was grueling on the victim and the family.
And then of course, we have, it's not that she got a job. I mean, we don't begrudge that.
Sure.
Or by any means, but that anybody who would just say, here, go live and have this platform, and I just don't think. I think that's something that needs to change too. When someone has been indicted for a crime like this, I just don't think they should even be able to do anything like that.
Well, do you know that they're not allowed to have a Facebook profile?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's a new thing. Right.
But she was indicted. She hadn't been
prosecuted yet.
So I don't know when that actually takes place. But as a business owner, I just don't even think it was a smart business decision.
It was a terrible one.
Either. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that she couldn't have supported her and cared about her and prayed with her and things like that. But
and support her. That's on you. But you can't, you chose to do that with your business, but there's consequences behind that.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get some public ridicule. So if you're going to give it out and support it and put it in the face of your business, you're going to have to expect some. And
it has affected the other businesses around that business. Matter of fact, they just came out and actually made a post and took a stand.
Yes.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah, and I did notice that some of our famous TikTokers and friends that you and I know, they've been all over the place trying to support them.
Yes.
The businesses in Silo Square that have nothing to do with this, by the way. They don't support it in any kind.
Yeah. But it's affected them too, and affected their business because this one business owner, she owns 2 businesses in the area, but she decided to make this her public mission, and it's just real confusing.
Very confusing.
And so now she was in court too, and now that she knows what she knows, I'm perplexed as to why she hasn't stood up.
Same thing.
And said, I don't condone it.
Same thing with the school board member. I don't get it either. Nobody gets it. We don't understand. Maybe it would help people if you just explain yourself a little bit. Why?
Yeah.
Because then maybe people can. I wouldn't understand.
I actually asked the school board member, "Tell me why. Yeah. Tell me why you won't resign."
She's not going to answer.
I just want to know, here's what I'm standing firm on. Tell me what you're standing firm on. And
she won't do it.
She said, no response.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I won't respond.
Wow, she was chewing on her gum like she could just care less what you were saying. Very disrespectful, by the way. I wanted to just,
which that's so heartbreaking because most people are like grandmother to grandmother or mom to mom. Sure. Like, I feel your pain. And, most people have been so kind, and that was just
Well, I think she sees herself as a victim. The way she carries herself in there, I haven't been to a meeting, but just what I visually have watched, it just seems like she sees herself as being attacked for no reason. And that's just not the case. If she can't see that, then she certainly doesn't need to be in a position like that.
Yeah. What I want to say to everybody that is involved in any way, shape, or form, the people I agree with, the people I don't agree with, the people who have done right or done wrong, regardless, we all have an opportunity right now.
Yes.
Today is the day to say, I do not condone any type of sexual assault, violence, battery, anything against a minor. I stand against it. We all have the right to stand up and do the right thing.
Sure.
Right now. And schools and churches and daycare places, anybody that has children, they need to all get trained. They need policies in place. They need protection for themselves and for the people who they serve.
Right.
All of that needs to happen right now.
Well, one of the things that you talked about, this is kind of what you want to do. This is going to make one of your new goals is to try to help educate others.
Yes.
Schools, churches, businesses, how to protect themselves going forward. How do we handle this? Let's have a plan in place to where it's not if it's going to happen. It's just going to be when possibly it pops up in the community.
Yeah, but we can decrease how much it happens if we get some laws in place.
We just got to put the hammer down. And I believe Matthew Barton, our district attorney,
he's amazing.
He's an amazing guy, and I believe that he will. He's advocating heavily on stiffer punishments.
He really cares.
Yeah, he does.
He really
Yeah,
does. He really cares. He wants a safer DeSoto County. He is fighting for us, and he really has fought hard for our family, and along with the assistant DA too that has been on the case. They're all amazing. And
I know he's the face of it all, but at the end of the day, it's the culture.
And in the sheriff's department, the investigators, they are amazing, incredible people. Sheriff Tuggle, we appreciate him so much, and he's come out and taken a really strong stand.
Yes.
And so these people really care, and they have a better understanding of what went on. I mean, they've seen the evidence. They know the real story. They're not going, I just can't believe she would do that. No, they know what she did.
And they know who she is.
Yes.
They know what her true goal was at the end of the day. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it goes back to where if these people do support her and they realize the guilt and they're definitely not condoning it, to say, like, I don't condone it, but her as a person.
Well, here's the thing, too.
I just want to support her to know that people do still love her and she's had a chance to be whatever. That's fine, but you can't do it in position of power.
Well, here's
over
the thing.
children.
I'm going to fight to protect their kids.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though they're defending her, I'm going to fight to protect their kids.
Absolutely.
And I hope this never happens to their children or their grandchildren. And so I'm going to do all I can to protect their kids, even though they're allowing a predator to be around their children.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And choosing so. Well, I'm still going to fight for your kids.
And without case details going in, that's part of the reason why she's locked up now, is because I don't even think she saw the severity in her house arrest and stuff that she was going through during her probationary period of
the day that she registered as a sex offender.
That's what I was talking about.
Day,
she went home.
She left there.
Yeah.
And went to where her mom was babysitting a child.
That just goes back to show you.
She was out running errands, they said. Like, how can she be out running errands?
Again, man, that's why I say earlier.
How can you be a convicted sexual offender and the day that you sign up,
you're at a child's house?
You're out running errands and then stop by where a child is. Mm-hmm. How can that be?
Well, that's where I go back. She didn't understand or see it as being a serious issue. You know, she don't see herself that way. That's why I was asking you mentally, where's she at? Like, what is she besides being vile and diabolical?
Oh, I think she thinks she's above the law.
Oh, 100%. But I'm talking about age-wise, like the mental.
Well, her mom was there. Why didn't her mom say, "Don't come here"?
Same thing. Like me,
don't come here.
Me as a parent, I'd have been like, first of all, I would have delivered you to the justice system and been like, we're going to have some accountability no matter what. This is going to happen. I know I love you, but I'm not going to let you be out here a dangerous society. And what you did is wrong. You have to account for it. However, this is not what any of her family did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And again, it goes back to, I just don't think they see it the way the rest of people saw it. I think it goes back to the way that they still see it as this consensual thing.
I mean, I get it. Yeah. I get that that's really hard. I get it, that it's really hard to believe that about your child or about your sister or brother, you know, or whatever. And I get it. But you just have to go through the hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You have to open your mind.
But Pam, here's the thing too: if you don't stand on it and you don't hold them accountable and you don't publicly denounce it, that's important. The public denouncement is really important. That's where the church went wrong too, by not supporting the victim publicly.
Well, they did support the victim. Let me just say that with the church. Yeah, what they did, but they didn't say enough.
That's right.
That's where they really messed up because, and for me, I was the grandmother, not the mom. And so, but for me, they needed to tell the other parents because she continued to try to contact those kids and continued to reach out. Like, those people needed to know, cut off all, so we need to know, what are the policies? Like, when that happens, what should we do? How do we protect not just the victim we know about, but any other potential victims and anybody who could possibly in the future become a victim?
Sure.
Like, how do we put our arms around our people and
block
protect
everything
them.
out.
Yes.
Yeah, everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to have hard conversations, like we talked about in the beginning. As a leader, you have to have hard conversations and talk about it. And there has to be strict policies and procedures put in place. And when you find out something has gone on, you got to act
immediately.
Yeah, you got to
there's
get
no
busy.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no time. I think that's what happened here. They didn't know what to do or how to react.
But now is the time. So I just wanted to call out to all churches.
Yes.
Right? If you're listening and you're on staff at a church, or if you attend a church, go talk to them about it. Ask hard questions.
Yes.
Have hard conversations.
Because I think a lot of churches have been through this. Like, I think that this does happen. It's no secret that there's predators everywhere. Schools, churches.
Find out what policies and procedures do we have in place. Have we been trained?
Yeah.
Have y'all been trained? Yeah. What would you do? How do we handle this? What do we look for? Like start asking the questions. Like, we need to all know.
Yeah, because you've learned a valuable lesson through this.
Oh, yeah.
And you can help them understand kind of what to get in place. So call Pam and talk to her about it a little bit. I don't think again, she's giving grace to the church as well. I know that they didn't handle things exactly. I just don't think they knew how to. The first thing you do, D.A. Barton said this: call the authorities immediately.
Yeah. I regret that too. I should have picked up the phone and said, "I'm sorry, I'm calling the police."
Yes, let's don't call the church. Let's don't do anything. Let's just call the authorities immediately. Yeah. Call your local police department, sheriff's department, whoever investigates this, because what it allows them to do immediately is put the barriers in place to protect the children immediately. Mm-hmm. And they don't care about dividing a congregation. They don't care about dividing the public. They care about protecting the child.
Right.
So the important part is you take all that, well, they wouldn't do that. Let me check with them first before this thing gets out of control. There's none of that going on. They come in and immediately put the divide in between the child and what dangers may be. Yeah. And that's why it's important to call the authorities at all times.
Yeah, and
then they'll investigate
there needs
and
to
figure
at
it out.
least be one person on every staff who is fully trained.
Yes.
And fully knows what to do. And then you just call that person and then they can say, okay, here's what we're doing.
And it probably, to be honest with you, it probably wouldn't even cost that much. Like at the end of the day, I think it's probably any value that you could see from it. I mean, it's not a financial thing at this point. It's all about protecting our children going forward and protecting you as an institution.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I think that most likely the church was worried about protecting their assets. That's why you get an attorney involved sometimes, and I think they made a mistake. Well, that's
the attorney's job. I don't know. I can't really say that's what the church was worried about, but I know when you ask an attorney, that's just their job.
Yes, that's their job.
That's what they're supposed to do. And they're not trained. They haven't been to seminary. They haven't surrendered their life to, leading people to Jesus. They're out fighting law, and protecting assets and things like that. So I don't know that they always can give you the best advice, but you need somebody on staff who understands what has happened and who can say your child is a victim, right? And can explain that to you and say, here's, do this or this or this. And so there just needs to be a list of resources and a list of next steps to move you forward, and that would help so much.
And also, I think, and you can answer this question or not, it doesn't matter, because it is something that burns me up a little bit, that they still allowed some people who were in support of her to continue to go to church there, continue to greet you at the door, continue to look at you as the victim, not as the victim, but the problem, so to speak, and you got to walk through that every Sunday or whatever. And
I don't know about the problem thing, but I can say that that the business owner who hired the predator did serve as a door greeter and continued to.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to refer to it specifically, but since you want to, go ahead.
Well, I mean, she just continued to serve as the door greeter, which it was so hard for us because I'm just going to be totally honest. It was very hurtful personally because this was someone that I've known her whole life. Like, we grew up in the same church a long time ago.
Right.
And so we came kind of from the same place. Like, I knew her family and she knew my family. And so it was all kind of shocking, because there was no like, hey, Miss Pam, what do you think about this? Or, I mean, there was just nothing like that. And so then to see her support in that way and all of the things that she said, and then to continue, I don't know. It just felt
Well, I feel like,
hurtful.
in my opinion, from an outside looking in, not being a member of the church, so I don't know the dynamics of going on in that church, but as a pastor or a leadership role, I would have been like, hey, look, this is like out there. It's a wrongdoing. It's admitted. It's indicted. It's all this stuff. If you're going to support her outwardly like that, you can't be engaging the family of the victim.
Well, honestly, for the church, from the church's standpoint, what I think should have happened is they should have said, okay, you can't because there's controversy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Online, so you cannot be you can't serve.
Yeah, that's right.
You can attend.
You can attend,
but you can't serve right now.
Yeah.
And then the school teacher that was also a Sunday school teacher there, she was constantly making posts. And so again, she should have been told, you can't serve. You're making controversial posts. And I also think our family should have been told, right now is not the best time for y'all to lead.
Yeah, anybody involved.
We led small groups too, and they should have said, now's not the best time for y'all to lead. Yeah. Why don't y'all step down? Let's let somebody else lead your group.
Sure.
Blah,
so
blah,
not
blah.
just the other side,
so
but
really,
your side too.
But that should have already been a policy in place.
Mm-hmm. That would have been an immediate policy that should have took place.
That said, all of these people cannot be in a leadership position right now. Everybody step down, attend. We're going to serve y'all, pour into y'all, we'll pray with y'all, like whatever we can do.
Yep.
But nobody,
But nobody gets to
There's just a policy
continue to have to force you to face each other. You know what I mean? That's what's nuts. Like, to me, outwardly looking in, I got to be honest with you. I would have had a real problem with that if I'd have walked up and my granddaughter, who has been a victim, and here's someone supporting them. Well, I know,
and you've said you would have done a lot of stuff.
I'm telling you, I don't know how I would have had the restraint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Restraint takes great strength.
Whew, you ain't lying.
So maybe I'm stronger than you are.
I think you are. Yeah, I know I'm a 300-pound guy, but like, I think you're stronger than me.
Well,
emotionally,
because
physically,
here's the
everything.
thing, is that when I was walking into that church, a lot of mornings, this victim was with me, or had been, you know what I mean? Yes, or maybe walking behind me or in front of me, so we were going there as a family, and anything I did would create more hurt and pain in her life. Right,
and she's got to relive it constantly.
Why would I do that?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Why would I do anything that would end? And during this year of that happening, people didn't know for a long time.
This went on for a long time.
So what happened was, even though we knew, a lot of other people were guessing and assuming and trying to figure it out, but they didn't know yet. It took a long time for people to know. And so if I had acted out, then that would have been like, ding, 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 now we know who the victim is.
Right. Well, and just overall, it just goes to show to your character who you really are. You put others before you, like you were putting your granddaughter's emotional stability in place. Like, if you had reacted in a bad way and went in there and just tore heads off, as I call it, so to speak. I know it's a terrible term, but like, if you just try to hold everybody's feet to the fire, like, you can answer to me right now, that makes her relive it over and over and over again. And what you were trying to do is keep things calm until the storm, it did come. I mean, it did.
Oh, it came.
Yeah, but
it didn't go how we thought. We waited and waited and waited. Like, court got rescheduled several times. It went on forever, it felt like. And then finally, here was this day, and we thought we'd have some closure. Yeah. And that's not what happened.
No, not at all. But I will say this, Pam, I'm a firm believer, and by listening to you through your amazing podcast, by the way, I made my wife another day, I come in and I got it playing on loud. She goes, "What are you doing?" I'm listening to Pam Pegram. She goes, "Who's that?" And I said, "Well, just listen for a while." And she's like, "She's really good. She's got a great message." And she doesn't even listen to podcasts. I don't even think she listens to mine, to be honest with you. So she's more of the TikToker. But what I was going to say is the strength that you have shown your family, this victim, your granddaughter, who is now coming of age, and that's probably seeing the example you're setting through her own mother. Obviously, it's a generational thing. As a family, you're a strong unit, and it's going to give her the power when she's ready to help others and speak out of how, like, this happened to me. Let me show you how to handle this if it happens to you. Yeah. And if there's a silver lining in it, which I always believe there is, try to find it in any kind of negative situation, is to be able to help others and help them heal from it, and between you and your family, and especially the victim, if and when she's ready. It sounds like she's amazingly strong, by the way.
She is. She is amazingly strong. She's special. She really is. And I believe with all of my heart that God will use her in a great way to help other people. Yeah. And I think that she's got just a calling on her life. And but because of what I believe Satan wants to destroy that, and God wants to have, you know what I mean? Sure. And so we all have a choice. We can look down or we can look up when things like this happen. And so that's my prayer constantly, that she'll fix her eyes on Jesus and just keep walking forward.
She's got you as leader, leadership, and a great example. Well, you know what I mean? So, and you've done a great thing. And
I'm so thankful for our family. My daughter's amazing, and my whole family's amazing. And I have sons, 2 daughters and a son. And
10 grandbabies.
Yes. And they have all just rallied around each other and rallied around her. And that's really cool to watch that happen.
Well, one thing,
when you raise your kids and they're like, of course. They're arguing and fighting, and you're like, okay, y'all, come on now. And they really have stood shoulder to shoulder.
I think what's cool about the way y'all got your family set up too, and I know this from my own family, there's usually a matriarch or patriarch in every family, but there's also usually like one grandchild that is the leader. And it ain't always the oldest one, by the way. It could be just the strong one, that like somewhere rises out of the flame, so to speak, of something that's happened, and even the older ones can look down to them and go, that's the one later in life that we're going to depend on, you know what I mean, for the family dynamic. And this is probably going to be her role because they're going to see that. I mean, a lot of them probably won't remember what details were, but the ones who
they
are
don't
older,
know.
right?
They're too little.
But as
they
the
don't
older
know.
ones do
and that's
know,
been another element to this is protecting them.
Exactly.
And protecting them from all of this, protecting them from seeing things on the news.
It's impossible. It's almost
on
impossible.
Our phones.
Yeah, it's work.
And it is hard work, and it's constant trying to protect the littles. And that's been really hard too. That's just another element.
Which,
of
by
it.
the way, Lindsay was around some of these kids, you know, and that's another thing, you know, like, dang, you know, like she had access to a lot of folks, you know, and so, but what I was trying to say is like, you know, the strength that she can have is a leadership role going forward in life. You know, she has an opportunity to really watch and protect over them, watch for things she wasn't aware of, you know what I mean, coming. And maybe in life, I hope it never happens again to anybody in your family or anybody else, but she'll have some, I guess, some opportunities to let them open their eyes a little bit, help them, show them the way, you know, the strength and how to deal with it when you do have someone that's not necessarily, not even in this case, but just someone who's not healthy to be in your lifestyle. You know, it could be a boyfriend, friend, whoever is like, hey, that person's not healthy for you. I can tell they're trying to control your narrative. You don't put up with that. You know, she'll already know that. Sometimes we got to live it to show others, you know, and that's kind of what y'all are doing. You know, so.
And I mean, I hope it's obvious, you know, because I'm telling you, this was very well hidden.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, but one thing we didn't talk about that I do really want to talk about is that I've created a Facebook page.
We got it up and going.
Yes.
All right.
It's up and going. It's called Strengthen Communities to Keep Children Safe.
Strengthen Communities to Keep Children Safe.
Yes, it's a Facebook page.
We'll put that in the intro when we get that down. By the way, got to make sure we put that on here.
So that's a Facebook page, and I will list, you know, should be out soon, the exact verbiage we want to say. We want to email the legislators who are on the education committee.
Yes.
Those are the people we want to target and let them know that we're in support of this bill and that we think it's really important that this passes.
Right. Do you know the name of the bill?
HB 817.
Okay. People, put that down when it comes time.
I will post it on that page along with all of the right legislators to email and to reach out to so that you can forward.
It's important, folks, as the public to get behind this and send it to your representatives in your legislature because they're going to have to, they get thousands of bills, by the way. So this one's got to stand out and we got to make sure that we.
And Kim Remack is the one who tried to get this through before.
Remark, I think. Remack. Okay.
Yeah. And so she's working on that again. Michael McClendon has said he'll support it. I mean, there are a lot of people coming out in support of this. I wish I could name them all, but I don't. I can't. Really. But I'll try to post it on that page. But we really need to pay attention to this. This is important. And I mean, I'm for one. I'm going. I should have been paying attention last year, and I didn't.
Right.
I didn't even know about it.
Because it was during this time, but we didn't know. Like, that's the thing about laws and stuff. Like a lot of times.
And so when they go. This is why it's important for us to be loud about it. It's because when they go to session in January, they will have 3,000 to work
look over
through.
And work through. Yeah.
And so we want this one on their mind.
Yeah,
right?
So,
this one needs to pass.
So anybody listening to DeSoto County, especially since we have this, but Tunica, Tate, whatever, man, get on there. Get on this website Pam's talking about. I know that Miss Aubrey and some other ones are out there advocating for this too. They've been putting it all over that, like, we got to get behind this. We got to get it pushed through because it's a statewide initiative.
Yeah.
You know, but it's important that we make it loud and clear.
For now and also for future things that will happen, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And definitely the future because, you know, you're going to have people do things. You know what I mean? It hadn't been that long ago. We had a board member do something else. It was a couple of years ago, you know, and I want to allude to that, but it was in the same child predatory type stuff. I think it was some porn stuff or something maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how recent. Might have been a decade ago or something.
Well, that would be a great reason to vote them off the school board.
Absolutely. I'm not just saying
you
here.
You cannot be on the school board.
But it's not unheard of in other places that this does take place, you know. And it's not just here, it's everywhere. But especially within our state borders, you know, we can allow our other members to get them out of there, you know, when there's bad behaviors or even if there's just public outcry. Like it looks bad as a whole for the group. You know, they don't want the heat. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes.
They definitely don't. And I can tell you without any question in my mind, everybody but her supports your family and the
They
victim.
do.
Yes.
They really do.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate that so much.
And they've seen it from the get-go.
Yeah, and they've asked her to resign.
Oh, yeah. They've actually begged her to resign. It's not asked. They've begged for her to step down, and she just won't do it. And by the way, our good friend Gerald Wheeler, who took her place as the chairperson, he's an amazing individual and loves children, and is just really disappointed in the whole setup, of how things have transpired over this. And and I know that they wish they could do more.
Yes.
Yeah, they really do. So, and they've been a friend of your families as well. So, him and others. So, anything else we want to touch on today, Miss Pam?
The last thing I will say is that I just want to encourage everyone to make a stand and to rise up and to choose to do the right thing for the right reason. And if we all link arms together, we can see change. We can see some laws get strengthened. There are some laws right now. One of the laws that we would like to have strengthened is the fact that when you're charged with sexual battery, you're looking at 0 to 30 years. We want to remove that 0.
Yeah, at least one.
At least one.
At least one.
When you are charged and found guilty of sexual battery, 0.
Of any kind, by the way.
Should not be an option. You should not get probation. Okay, so that's really important. We need to work on that and get that bill passed, or law passed, get that law changed and strengthened. So we have a lot of things that my family feels really drawn to and committed to now.
Sure.
And it's been interesting to see that different ones have different things, right, that they feel really passionate about. And so those are some things that we want to do. And so stay connected to us. Follow this page. There may be some other things coming in the spring that we can actually get on board with and really start engaging in. But we want to do the right things the right way. And so we've got to figure all that out. So stay connected to us. Follow this Strengthen Communities to Keep Children Safe. We'll be posting announcements and things that the public can do to help make these things, get tighter. We got to strengthen things. We got to put things in place, not make it weak so bad people can do bad things, but to make it strengthened so that we hold people accountable.
Well, the fact of the matter is there's always going to be evil folks lurking.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yes.
So, we got to make the laws stronger. We have to be quicker. And by the way, I also want to say that I think that our law enforcement community, as well as our prosecutors, are doing an amazing job.
Yes, I agree.
None of this was their fault, by the way.
No.
This was a judge who made a bad decision.
Yes.
And a bunch of folks that supported a predator, and we don't know why, but they helped the judge make a bad decision. So I don't even want to speak on the attorneys involved because I have another opinion of that because I don't know them, so I don't want to give an opinion. But outwardly looking in, it's like, where does the dollar stop?
Well, I'm thankful that I don't do what they do for a living.
Me too, because
the way they do it.
Yes, for sure.
The way they do it, because I'm like, what in the world?
I think I would be on the prosecutor's side if I was an attorney for just, because I'm not about money. You know what I mean? I know we got to have it to do things and survive and stuff, but at the end of the day, I got to sleep. And I can't sleep knowing I do stuff like that. Yes. I know they have an oath and they have to defend the people, but there has to be a limit to it sometimes, when people are guilty. You just do what you can, but you just got to quit using certain words.
Right.
That's offensive to the community.
Yes.
I don't give a dang what you think you're doing. You're just doing it wrong, and that's my opinion. I can have it because I'm no expert. So I'm just, however it may be, but thank you for coming on the platform. I know you got a lot of people you could do a lot of things with, and I thank you for trusting me to kind of help you tell your story for your family. I know a lot of people, we rehashed a lot of things today, but we also told some new stuff from the family's perspective of how they felt and you felt during this time and how tough it was. A lot longer than the last 2 months, by the way. This has been going on for a long time, well over a year.
Yeah.
And people don't know the struggle that the whole family's had to endure. And, those tough days that you talk about that, I can only imagine, because I haven't had to go through that, but it does go to show that outwardly, when you're looking in, it's like, well, I seen her and she was, she was smiling. She seemed happy. That's her. That's just who she is. She's a strong person outwardly.
Well, we're taking a break from it for a second, okay? Yes, so we're going to smile and we're going to focus on you for a minute.
I'm going to go try to get me a drink at Sonic and just relax for a while, and get off of things like that. I mean, that's probably what she's trying to do is just to get away from it for a little bit, Yeah. And so, again, you're a strong person, and I applaud you. And I'm talking to the victim here. I know Grandma's strong, but you're a very strong person if she allows you to see this. And that we as a public are supporting you and in your ongoing ventures of healing because that's important as a father and grandfather. I mean, the strength and courage that you have shown in the last few months, being outwardly so public with everything, and definitely last year. It's just amazing and inspiring. Even to a person like myself, I think I've seen a lot. So, and to you as well now, Grandma, and your daughter, and your husband, and the father and stepfather, whoever's involved, son-in-laws, still the strength to endure. And you got to still heal from this as a family.
Yes.
But what you have is an amazing support system.
Yes.
With the whole family and friends. And that I've seen pretty clearly just from the short time I've known you. And again, thank you for letting me kind of interview today
and I'll
just
let me just end it with this to say, like, it's amazing that when we look backwards and we see all that God has done. And I know you say, like at the beginning, you don't really believe everything I believe, but it's been super cool though. But listen, it's been super cool to see how some of our plans changed before we all ended up there on that compound together.
It's amazing.
And that was God's goodness and His mercy and His grace for our family, that we're all right there, that on hard days we could walk over instead of drive 30 minutes to try to get to one another.
Yes.
Or just 10 to see how He's moved people, jobs, things like that have, it'd take me a long time to go through everything, but I will just tell you that even with all that's happened, He has been so good and so faithful. And we trust Him and we continue to walk with Him and live a life, and we want to bring honor and glory to Him even in the midst of all of this. And that I've tried to live my life without Him, and I've tried it with Him, and it is so much better.
Way better with Him.
With Him.
Yeah. And look, I'm not a denier. Remember, I told you that. My mom and my brother, and almost every person I talk to tells me, like, you're doing the work now, you just don't know it. I'm there, and I could be, and I'm not closed-minded to it either. I mean, almost everybody I associate with are just like you, Pam. They're very faithful. And devoted and live an amazing life. And I don't discount that at all. And I never want you to discount it because you think I'm against or anything. That's not,
I don't think you're against. I just want you to know that it's really been amazing. I mean, I'm just so thankful.
Yes.
And so grateful for what He's done and continues to do and how He shows up.
Well, and again, it goes back to the character of your family as a whole. I think that a lot of people say they are, but they're not living proof of it. And I think that y'all are living proof of it.
Oh.
That's what I see. You're putting it out there, and it's not it just comes easy when you're really living it and you really believe it, and you're choosing that path with your whole family and everybody's, regardless of the religious aspect. It's again, you can restate it again. Your little words of encouragement is do the right thing
for the right reason.
Even, and I'm going to add that little bit, even when nobody's looking.
Yes.
That's the important part.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's easy to get on film and take pictures, and I'm out here and taking pictures, doing good things. But what are you doing behind the scenes? You know what I mean? Like, are you really doing the right thing?
Yeah.
When nobody's looking. So that's
what matters.
That's what matters.
That's who you really are.
Yeah,
right?
man. And like I said, just keep doing what you're doing. I think it's amazing. People go follow her, PamPegram.com, and check out her awesome podcast she does, because it's encouraging for others. And again, thank you for coming today, Pam.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck to you. I hope you have you back. I want to have you back after we pass this resolution.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes,
and we'll talk about
how celebrate.
They go follow this new page you got fired up about how to help protect our children locally as well. And this thing could be statewide pretty quick if we all get on board.
Yes.
And start trying to help.
It matters.
And she'll probably need some admins, folks. So if it gets big enough, she'll need some help. So the ones who enjoy that kind of work, get in there. I've been asked. I just have too much to do. I can't get involved in admin pages from stuff. I barely can take care of my own stuff. So, but I have been asked, and I'm always very, very appreciative of the offer because they trust me, but I just can't. I got too much. Too many pages, too many fundraisers. By the way, the Fancy Nancy Foundation that we're involved with, we're getting ready to release our Jeep for fighting domestic violence. All of it's going to go through House of Grace. I just talked to the sheriff the other day. He's on board. He's ready to support us. We're going to do some cool stuff.
Awesome.
We're going to give away a Jeep, and we're going to help fight domestic violence through the Fancy Nancy Foundation. So,
that's awesome.
All right, guys. Look forward to next time. See you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.